What's up, everybody? Didn't think we were going to have to do something like this, but timely topic, so let's get into it. What's going on, Glenn?
Yo, what's going on? I'm chilling.
Yeah, this is a crazy one. I mean,
Well, there are some crazies in this one.
we were talking about, some of this stuff as, time went on when it comes to transgenderism and certain things. And then lo and behold, and this is not a bash on transgenderism at all. Like, let's make that 100% clear. But what do you know? We had another school shooting.
Yeah.
That just blows my mind. It just seems to be nonstop. And this is quite honestly, this is one of the first times where I've ever seen one where it was coming from a transgender individual. I don't know. It kind of blew my mind.
Well, I mean, does it though? Does
I
it?
don't. So it doesn't, in the sense that we've kind of, as we went through the previous series on some of the mental health issues that they have,
Mm-hmm.
or that most of them have, not all of them, but as some of them have. Uh, it doesn't surprise me, but it surprises me with the aggression, because typically it doesn't end with something like this. That's what I think is most surprising, is that we're now at the point where this is it's just getting out of hand. And I mean, hey, when I even spoke to you about this yesterday, and I was like, hey, we got to cover this, we got to talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you didn't even hear about it at that point.
No.
When my girlfriend came home from work and I mentioned it to her, she was like, what are you talking about? She didn't even know about it. It
Yeah.
almost feels like something like this is more suppressed in the media than any other regular typical shooting. And
Well, why do
that's
you think that is?
because we don't want to highlight the fact that people are suffering from mental health issues, to be
No, we
honest.
don't want to highlight the fact that a female killed people. We don't want to highlight the fact that a transgender, the LGBTQ alphabet people, killed innocent people. That's why they don't want to highlight it. I mean, let's be honest. Let's be honest. Okay, like there are so many kid gloves around this damn issue. Like they're playing it so kid friendly. They don't want to say a female wannabe man transgender went nuts and shot up a bunch of people at school, at the school that she used to go to. I don't know, maybe 15, 20 years ago. Well, no, not 20 years ago, about 10 to 15 years earlier. And she decided that, she wanted to go there to kill people and, make a statement. But we want to avoid the fact that we want to label her female, because although she is by birth, she was born a female. Okay. So we don't want to call that out, because that would highlight the fact that women could be violent too. Women do violent crimes too. It's not just men that have mental health issues that do commit violent crimes. No, they don't want to point that out, that a female does it too. Okay. And they also don't want to point out the fact that this is a transgender person. One, because they're like, oh, we're a marginalized community. Okay. And if, since we're marginalized, people will take this one transgender person's actions and attack us all. And you know what? I got something to show you for that, because it seems like the trannies are the ones that are talking about going to war.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you shared that with me. That was wild.
Why don't you pull that up?
Sure. Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that right now. Let me.
Oh, we don't have to. You know what? How about you give your opinion first? We can go to that later. We want to throw all the good stuff right first.
No problem. Yeah. So, just so everybody's aware, essentially what happened was, what was it? Audrey Hale. That was her name. It wasn't Aubrey. It was Audrey Hale. What she did, or he, however you want to go by it, what happened yesterday is that around shortly after 10 a.m., she drove to the elementary school that she went to, and she shot down the glass doors to get inside. And then she ended up gunning down 3 9-year-old children and then 3 additional teachers at the school. And this was just out of control violence. And then she ended up getting shot herself at the end of it all when the police finally took her down. And I don't understand it. I don't understand it. And what I thought was wild, as I was saying, is the fact that when I mentioned it to you, you had no idea what I was talking about. When I mentioned it to my girlfriend, she had no idea what I was talking about. And I'm like, this is major news. Now, granted, I don't look at mainstream media a lot, but at the same time, like, this stuff pops up. But it was almost like it was suppressed. And then on top of that, an insult to injury, Joe Biden was making jokes at the beginning of his press conference talking about it. So it's almost like no one cares. And I think that this is a glaring issue on mental health when it comes to this. I mean, Glenn, what do you think when it comes to mental health surrounding those that choose to go trans or are struggling with some of that gender identity and dysmorphia?
What do I think?
Yeah,
I think you have a mental health disease or issue if you decide that you don't feel like your real self in the skin and with the physical, I don't know, the biology that you're born with. I mean, you were born with a dick. That dick is all you know. You know more about that dick than anything else in life. And you should be more secure with that penis swinging in between your legs than the idea of a vagina flap, because you've never experienced having a vagina flap. You don't know what that feels like down there. So it's like, for anybody to say like, "Oh, I don't feel like I'm in the right body," like, you have a mental health disease.
yeah.
Now there's a difference between like saying, "I don't feel like I'm in the right body," and you know what, I just want to be something different. I want to be weird. I want to be different. I want to break the mold. Okay, that's cool. At least we know that that you were born this sort way. It's just that you choose that you don't want to be this sex, but you're cool with the fact that you're not thinking that you were born. You should have been born another gender. Okay, you just like, you know what, I'm gay. I like, guys, and you know what? I rather look like a girl, because if I look like a girl, then they're more likely gonna, sleep with me. Maybe I'll get John Anthony to bang me if I look like a girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, so maybe that's their goal. And I'm like, okay, I could roll with that. If that's your goal, is to like dupe a guy and like, get him to, okay, that's cool. I think it's kind of fucked up, but you know what? At least I could roll with it. At least you're not saying like you were misborn, or you should have been born another gender. Like that's where I'm getting at. Like, yeah. So I think we're all a little crazy. I think everybody is born with a little fucked upness in the head. Maybe it's one of the sins that we have. Thou shalt be fucked up.
There you go. Yeah, no, that's a good point. And Danny, what you're saying here, I'll just go ahead and say it. A person ain't exactly mentally healthy, grounded, nor stable when they want to irreparably mutilate their own body and permanently remove their own genitalia. That's truth. I mean, why would you want to do that? Because you can't, it's not like you can go back. And as AJ is saying too, gender dysphoria, I would say, is on par with cluster B. Now, I wouldn't necessarily say
Now,
that
I
for
don't
the
know if I think that might be a Google thing we should Google, because that would be interesting if to see if gender dysphoria falls in cluster B personality disorder. Hold on,
it
let me.
doesn't. It doesn't. But
Oh,
that's why he's saying, like, I would say, and
mm,
I think it's similar on some of the miswirings in the brain. It would make sense to me. But
yeah.
no, it's not, but it would kind of make sense that it would be similar, because that's really what it is. It's like not being able to live in your own skin. Like when you think of certain people that are like borderline, they can completely lose their sense of self and they think that things are happening that aren't happening. It's kind of similar to schizophrenia at times. It's kind of like a mix between schizophrenia and bipolar disorder.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. That's interesting. It's a very good point, AJ. I like that. It's making me think right now, as you can tell. Like, got some things turning, but I just I find this whole thing crazy because one of the things that was mentioned as well with this whole scenario is she was classified as autistic.
And
I don't know
typically
if you,
that's a guy thing.
not necessarily, it's just
No,
mostly.
no, on average, it's a guy thing. That's what I'm saying. Typically,
Mhm.
that's what it is. So it's very rare that women get classified as autistic.
Mhm.
Girls are more tend to be classified as ADD or ADHD.
Right. But I found it interesting that like they had warning signs leading up to the whole thing.
Yeah, the moment when she said, "Hey, I want to be a boy," there's your warning sign.
And where did that come from? Why are you saying that now? I mean, she was 28 years old. And it was only within the past year. So at 27, she decided she wanted to be a boy. At 27? Really? Typically, this is something that you go through during those teenage years, and around like 18, 19, you kind of make a decision of like, this is who I'm going to be for my life. That's what's so confusing to me is how is that not a warning sign that at 27, when the brain typically fully develops by 25, I believe it is, and then all of a sudden you're just changing who you are entirely? Kind of says a lot.
Thank you, Danny, for that virtual super chat. I love you, bro.
Always appreciated, Danny. So you want to watch that TikTok video?
Well, hold on. I pulled up this article here. This is the medical journal of the Islamic Republic of Iran. Okay. Now I get it. Islamic Republic Iran, you might think that, well, because it says that, it might be you know, slanted a certain way. I don't know. I look up a lot of different medical journals and I read a lot of different shit, and I take the evidence, I take the science for what it is. But they say the frequency of personality disorders in patients with gender identity disorders. So background: comorbid psychiatric disorders affect prognosis, psychosocial adjustment, and post-surgery satisfaction in patients with gender identity disorders. So they are going to see here. 73 patients requesting sex reassignment surgeries were recruited for this cross-sectional study. Of the participants, 57.5 were biologically male, 42.5 were biologically female. What's the 0.5? Like, was one of them a hermaphrodite? And they just
No, it's they had an odd number or something to start. I don't
okay.
know.
The frequency of personality disorders was 81.4%. The most frequent personality disorder was narcissistic personality disorder, 57.1%. And the least was borderline personality disorder. The average number of diagnosis was at 3 per patient. So, AJ, there is a connection. Not so much close to well, it is cluster B, but they're more narcissistic, I guess. The findings of the
Yeah,
study
I
reveal.
think
Oh, let me just
let me just jump in for 1 second. I think that the reason why it's narcissistic is because it's about gaining attention. That's what this whole like gender dysmorphia and like trying to like go a different direction. I think it's all about getting attention.
Well, so it says the findings of this study revealed that the prevalence of personality disorder was higher among the patients, and the most frequent personality disorder was narcissistic personality disorder, and borderline was least common. So, what does that say? Like, and I'm looking at it right here. Like there's they had so you had narcissistic, and then obsessive compulsive was the next one.
Mhm.
Um, masochist and sadistic was the third.
Mm.
Now, isn't masochist like those are people like to hurt themselves or hurt people?
Yeah. They gain
What
pleasure.
is a sadistic? Sadistic is saying like they like to be the one getting hurt.
Yes, I believe that's what it is.
Hold on, I'm just gonna Google it.
Masochist likes to inflict the pain.
I don't trust your brain sometimes.
Hey, that's okay.
I'm kidding.
It's always good to fact check.
Derives from pleasure from inflicting pain, suffering, or humiliation on others. Okay, so it's not that side. So what's the masco? Yeah, let's see. Deriving from sexual gratification from one's own pain or humiliation. So okay,
I had a reverse.
Yeah, you had a reverse. So the masochist or cystic personality people,
masochist,
yeah, they're the ones that like to get their titties chopped off or their dick snupped off. You know, like that would make sense though, right? They would fall into that. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it all derives from certain things, maybe that are somewhat off kilter in the brain.
You know what's funny though? Like you would think that they would be more histrionic than anything, because you know they want the attention, right? They're very they sexualize themselves, you know, for one, because they're worried about sex so much, you know, considering the gender issue. And you would think that they would be more histrionic, but they're not. That's one of the most least ones they are.
It's more, I don't know how I can really dive into this. I could totally dive into this, but
I'm trying to figure out why would they be so high or narcissistic though?
Because they need to have the attention on themselves. The world revolves around them. And a lot of it can be because they did not have the world revolve around them, or they did not get the attention when they were a child. And that's very similar. I mean, there are huge similarities between histrionic and narcissistic.
Oh yeah, there are a lot, but it's funny that they're more not they're more closer to narcissistic and not histrionic, but histrionic and narcissist are so like parallel, like they're very similar.
Yeah, no, it's definitely very interesting. I'm not quite sure.
Well, AJ says MPD is one of the narcissistic personality disorder is cluster B. Danny says I used to know an MMA fighter here in Seattle who really enjoyed hurting people, but I think that may be a little different.
He was just a jackass.
So you want to throw that video up now?
Yeah, I got it.
Hey guys, this is a real treat for you. You know, like, let me preference this. This is like, okay. Now, what happened yesterday in Nashville was a tragedy. Okay. Loss of lives. This person was an active shooter killing people on this school campus. And then this individual thought this was the best time to make this video about this. Yeah. Just play it. This is pretty fucking awesome.
This is unbelievable.
I mean, this just points out the mental disorders.
It's time to fucking fight. Trans allies in Tennessee, it's time to fucking fight. Trans women, if they lock you up for identifying as a woman, fight, resist. You're gonna die anyways. We're going to die anyways. It's time to fucking resist. Fight them. Hurt them. If they put their hands on you, beat them. We are at an attack. It's time to fight back. Do you hear me? Trans people in Tennessee, trans men, trans women, non-binary, fight. If they try to arrest you or have you arrested on a felony for existing, beat them, team up, gang together, get people who agree with you to come and fight. Carry a weapon at all times. And yes, you have to attack the police officer. Allegedly. But it's time. It's time. If they're going to try to jail and police you for existing, you fight them. You fight them. And if they lock you in prison, fuck up the guards. Bust out of prison. Jump in with other trans people. It's time we organize a prison bust in Tennessee, guys. It's time we organize a prison bust. It's time we start fighting. It's time. If they put their hands on you, fight them. Trans people, fight them. We will not let them create a genocide of trans people. I am so tired. I was in a live the other day with 2 trans people who denied this. Out of my way. I disown any trans person who disagrees with this notion. You are not allowed at the fucking table. It's time to fucking fight. Trans genocide's around the corner. Stop debating cis people in your existence. I do not debate. My existence is not a conversation. We fucking fight now, or we die. And we're not gonna die debating cis people. They're gonna have the last word. They're joining your life to call you a man. They're joining your life to call you a woman. They're joining your life to misgender you, to get the right pronouns, to tell you that you're not existent. They're fucking with you and you're an idiot. Stop. You're gonna kill us all. Join together and start organizing a rally for resistance, not for talk. They're fucking with you. You're being gaslit. You think you're going to have a conversation and make progress. We don't have time to make progress. We have time to fight. God, all of you, I'm disappointed. Fight. Stop. I'll tell you something. If a police officer put his hands on me for trying to be who I am, I don't care if I got shot. I'm taking a couple of transphobes with me. And I suggest you do the same. The time for debate is over. It's a waste of time.
Well, Glenn, let me ask you, are you planning to join the resistance?
Wow. I mean, you know, like, talk about off their fucking rocker, right? Like, it wasn't like these cops decided to go trans hunting and, like, you know what, we're gonna go kill us some trans today, boys. You know, that wasn't the thing. These guys were responding to an active shooter, and the active shooter just happened to be trans.
Yeah.
And they killed the active shooter because they were killing people, kids. Okay. So it's not like there's this, like, all of a sudden attack on this, you know, community that now that they, you know, they're going out hunting people. Like, it was your member of your community that killed innocent people that had nothing to do with children that don't even know you not to like you. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, y'all fucked up and y'all want to declare war. Like, now I could totally see, like, if there was some injustice that took place, right, and somebody just decided to go on a killing spree and kill trans, and then that was their response to it. Okay, they're going to war with us, we're going to attack them. That would make sense. That would totally make sense. But when y'all were it was your member, your friend that did this, and they were killing people, and then they died in the process because somebody had to stop the killer from killing people, and then you're mad at the shooters that shot the bad guys or the bad girl in the first place. So what are we supposed to do? Just let them sit there and just start popping off more rounds and killing more folks? Like,
let's kill more kids.
Like, how many more kids need to die for them to feel more justified? Like, it make, like, that her response was just so ridiculous. It just didn't make no sense to me. Or his response. Yeah. I don't know what he is or what it is.
Yeah, whatever it is. It just, yeah.
But what do you think about it? Like, what do you think about the video?
I mean, that video in particular, I think is so mistimed. I understand, like, coming behind certain things, like, if there's a reason to, but you're backing off of children being slaughtered to push an agenda. For some reason, that does not sit well with me. I mean, we kind of talked about it a little bit before, especially, like, when Biden came on to talk about it. He again brought it back to gun reform. I mean, don't even get me started about his like ice cream joke at the beginning because that just was so ill-timed and very weird. But he's like bringing it back to the agenda, and it's not about gun reform. It's about mental health. Truly, that's how I feel about it. I think that we need to help these people. Like this woman who decided to do this act was clearly suffering. And there were signs. There were signs, and you shared some of them with me. Some of the Instagram messages and whatnot she was sending to
Oh
friends.
yeah, I could pull that up. I still have it up right now. Hold on. I'll
Yeah,
show
and
you.
you had explained to me, correct me if I'm wrong, that she was on hold with 911 for 7 to 9 minutes or something.
Yeah, the friend was on hold for like 7 minutes. The girl that she sent the messages to. Here, I'll pull it up right now. Yeah. So here we go. This is the text message she sent her friend. And she's telling him, so basically, that post I made about you yesterday was a suicide note. I'm planning to die today. This is not a joke. You probably don't want to hear. You won't. You probably won't. You probably won't. You probably hear about me on the news after I die. This is my last goodbye. I love you. See you again in another life. Audrey. All right. And then her friend's like, Audrey, you have so much more life to live. I pray that God keeps you and covers you. I know, but I don't want to live. I'm so sorry. I try not to upset you or get attention. I just need to die. All right. And then I wanted to tell you first because you are the most beautiful person I've ever seen and known all my life. Right. And then furthermore, she says, my family doesn't know what I'm about to do. One day this will make more sense. I've left more than enough evidence behind, and something bad is about to happen. You know what I'm saying? So this is her friend that she emailed or wrote that to. Her friend says, where was that at? So I called Nashville non-emergency line at 10:14 a.m. and was on hold for nearly 7 minutes before speaking with someone who said that they would send an officer to my home. An officer did not come to my home until 2:39. It's like, so the police, maybe you could say kind of dropped the ball, but kind of depending on the time that she sent the message and the time that the school shooting started, maybe like what happened was that she was calling them, so it says right here, my father 10 a.m. So suicide prevention helpline after I tried to confront and comfort. Okay. Oh yeah. So like so I don't know, when did the shooting start? Did you know what time the shooting took place?
Yeah, it began shortly after 10, probably around like 10, I would say like 10, 12.
So she was texting this person after that? So hold on, let me see. It says it's not a joke. Let's see what time her last text message sent. Okay, so 9:57. Okay, so she the messages were sent right before or right shortly before 10:30. So right around 10 o'clock.
She probably, I mean, that's one of the things in that scene right there when she went in the office. Like, she could have just pulled out her phone and like texted her friend or something.
After she shot a couple rounds. Hey,
yeah,
texting you back, like, hey, I'm really in the middle of something right now. I sent my message already. I already said my goodbye. Stop replying.
yeah, that's wild. It's absolutely wild.
So, like, here's the question though. Here's the overarching question. This is the question that we really need to have solved. Are we blaming this on toxic masculinity, or is this going to be PMS?
I know you're making light of it because it's a funny joke. I think that and this just
Hey, baby
goes
girl, I
to
see you in
show-
here.
This just goes to show that there is a mental health epidemic. I've explained to you that I've only met one person in my life that has been able to transition properly. And I am not seeing that across the board. And I think that that's a serious problem. We need to understand that if somebody is not comfortable in their own skin.
Well, yeah, when you think about the suicide rate too, right? Okay, like it's ridiculous. Let me show you. Here we go. The suicidal rate, suicidality amongst transgender youth, right? Data indicated that 82% of transgender individuals have considered killing themselves, and 40% attempted suicide. So they're the highest among the transgender youth, right? And it just kind of makes you wonder, right? Like these people already have like some mental health issues. Coco say, I'm waiting for the trans community to claim society is now killing trans people. Oh, you must not have seen the video that we just played. You know what? We got to play that video again, just for Coco, because she needs to see this shit, and I didn't send it.
She can watch it on the rewind.
Oh, we can play it.
It's like a 5-minute video, dude.
It's 3 minutes. It's the most funniest video. It's just play it again. It's funny. It's
fine.
Funny. And it helps me find
Coco, just for you. We love you.
Trans people in Tennessee, it's time to fucking fight. Trans allies in Tennessee, it's time to fucking fight. Trans women, if they lock you up for identifying as a woman, fight, resist. You're gonna die anyways. We're going to die anyways. It's time to fucking resist. Fight them, hurt them. If they put their hands on you, beat them. We are at an attack. It's time to fight back. Do you hear me? Trans people in Tennessee, trans men, trans women, non-binary, fight. If they try to arrest you or have you arrested on a felony for existing, beat them, team up, gang together, get people who agree with you to come and fight. Carry a weapon at all times. And yes, you have to attack the police officer. Allegedly. But it's time. It's time. If they're going to try to jail and police you for existing, you fight them. You fight them. And if they lock you in prison, fuck up the guards. Bust out of prison. Jump in with other trans people. It's time we organize a prison bust in Tennessee, guys. It's time we organize a prison bust. It's time we start fighting. It's time. If they put their hands on you, fight them. Trans people, fight them. We will not let them create a genocide of trans people. I am so tired. I was in a live the other day with 2 trans people who denied this. Out of my way. I disown any trans person who disagrees with this notion. You are not allowed at the fucking table. It's time to fucking fight. Trans genocide's around the corner. Stop debating cis people in your existence. I do not debate. My existence is not a conversation. We fucking fight now, or we die. And we're not gonna die debating cis people. They're gonna have the last word. They're joining your life to call you a man. They're joining your life to call you a woman. They're joining your life to misgender you, to get the right pronouns, to tell you that you're not existent. They're fucking with you and you're an idiot. Stop. You're gonna kill us all. Join together and start organizing a rally for resistance, not for talk. They're fucking with you. You're being gaslit. You think you're going to have a conversation and make progress. We don't have time to make progress. We have time to fight. God, all of you, I'm disappointed. Fight. Stop. I'll tell you something. If a police officer put his hands on me for trying to be who I am, I don't care if I got shot. I'm taking a couple of transphobes with me. And I suggest you do the same. The time for debate is over. It's a waste of time.
So I'm trying to understand here. Like, is this her makeshift taped up Harry Potter
I think
wizard
she I
room?
think she's like I think she wants to be a wizard.
I
But
think so too.
I mean, is there are women even wizards or are like other wizardists? Wizards they're wizards or dudes, right? So like are
I forget what they call them.
like sages? Aren't the females like sages or
I think
whatever?
they just call them witches. I think that's what it is in Harry Potter, at least.
I don't know. Like
You're a witch, Harry.
but like like that was the response after somebody in their community decided to go on a killing spree and kill some, you know, like innocent people. And it's like,
No,
well,
you see, the whole issue is
so
that
what are
we're
they
not.
supposed to
No,
do?
no, no, Glenn. You got to knock it off. You need to understand that
What are,
if we do not allow our trans people to kill children,
mhm.
then we are going downhill as a society.
Oh,
That's
so
what
we're
I'm hearing.
it's the fact that we're raising, you know, we're raising normal children and they're not like because she picked the well one I think it's really interesting that she picked a Christian school out of all schools, but also the fact that it was a school that she went to as a kid.
Mhm.
And so my thing is like she probably remembered, you know, maybe that the headmaster or the you know the school dean or whatever was the same school dean when she was there, right? And the lady was probably praying for her, like, little Aubrey, you're not a boy, okay? God created you to be a beautiful little girl, okay? And she got tired of hearing that shit, and you know, and she's like, I'm a boy, and she's like, no, you're not, okay? God doesn't make mistakes, right?
I'm a
And
real
then
boy.
hold on, yeah, and I'm a real boy. So then she's like, she's trying to do this whole transition thing, and it's not working. You know, she's like, God, no matter how many times I wear a tie, I don't feel like I have a dick. And then so she keeps this up, and she keeps on trying, and then she's like, damn it, that son of a bitch headmistress was right. Well, you know what? I'm gonna take her out with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, because
Because
like,
it's her fault somehow.
yeah, like it's like, what was other than that? Like, what was the relationship to the school? Why that school? I mean, I wonder how many schools she passed on the way there, you know, to get to that school. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
she did. She did actually have another location. Again, there's going to be information that's released over time. She actually had another location where she was going to hit, and she did not hit it because claiming that there was too much security. So I think she had a personal vendetta with this school.
Yeah, I agree. So right here it says, this is suicidal ideation disparities amongst transgender and gender diverse compared to cisgender communities, right? All right. So objective to rate here, let me just throw it up here on the screen so everybody can read along with me. Here. Yeah. There we go. All right. So objective to rate of self-reported suicidal ideation amongst TGD. I think that's transgender diverse group, I guess, compared to cisgenders individuals. Design the data that were extracted from electronic health records of patients receiving primary care, blah, blah, blah. All right. So there were almost 30,000 patients that they were using. This is from 2015 to 2018. Key results: younger age, sexual and gender minority identity, and public grants based on, okay, blah, 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 blah. Relative to cisgender men, transgender men were what, 95% more likely? They were 2.08 more likely to commit suicide than cisgender men. Transgender women were 3.0 to 2 point, or you know, so they were 95% more
So
likely.
here's one thing I do want to add to this, and that's one of the biggest arguments when it comes to this, is
Mhm.
that they tend to say the reason why is because of societal pressures
What's
on those
subtle
that are
pressures? We're all laughing at you because you guys don't get it right.
that's the pressure.
What is
That's
it?
what I'm
What's the
talking
pressure?
about. The pressure is that you feel out of place, which I think is fair.
Well, I
However,
mean, yeah, it's like, but you do that to yourself. You feeling out of place is your decision. Nobody put you out of place until you decided to step out of place. It's not like,
nobody holds a gun to your head and says you
yeah,
got to
nobody
do
told you to do that. Like you said, like, I want to be this way. Okay, be this way. But everybody's gonna look at you funny. It's just like if you wore your underwear on your head and you walked outside and you wore your
Wait, you don't do that?
yeah, I wear my girl's underwear on my head when we're fucking.
I
But
thought you shoved it in her mouth, but okay.
no, I shove it in my mouth. I sniff it. Go. Anyways, but like, okay, so it says right here, larger proportions of transgender women, 23.6%, individuals, 26.7% reported suicidal ideation, not only compared to cisgender men at 6.1 and women at normal women at 6.2, and compared to the transgender men, 17.4%. So there is a higher, they are significantly an increased risk of suicidal ideation, even after accounting for age, race, ethnicity, social, sexual orientation, and insurance status. Findings suggest district risk profiles of assigned sex at birth. Blah blah blah. Okay, so there are a higher suicide rate. You know what I mean? Well,
Mhm.
and they're like you said, they try to blame it on, society not accepting them. Okay, nobody has a problem with you. You just have a problem with how everybody else is in society.
You have a problem with society. Society
Yes.
doesn't have a problem with you.
Like, first of all, society was here before you. Okay. And transgender, although they try to say like transgender people are dated back to what, trying to say they go back all the way to the biblical days. No, because you guys didn't have the procedures to cut off penises and make boobs until, recently, like the last 60, 40 years, like, so it hasn't been a thing, maybe people have wanted to be girls or wanted to be boys since back then, and that's fine. I could accept that. But you know what? That doesn't mean that transgenderism has been a thing since that long. Okay, it's only been a thing since they had the technology and the ability to do so. And it's just like, well, what is it? Like, is it really society's fault that you are doing this? Is it really men? Is it really straight normal men's fault for not wanting to sleep with the transgender dude?
I think that that's the best point to bring out of this. Look, I don't give a shit. You don't give a shit. Nobody really gives a shit what you do with your life. If you're an adult, nobody cares. So just do what you do, but don't hurt other people. And this is a clear example where somebody's hurting somebody else because of hate on society. And I just can't stand it. It's just silly. I don't know. I don't know about you, Glenn, but I got really fucking frustrated today when we were talking about it at work. And I started cursing because I can't fucking stand somebody who wants to go ahead and take the life away from a child.
Yeah, like, and what did you do? Like, I mean, think of how selfish that is on the way out. It's like, you know what? I want to die. Okay, you want to die? Fine, kill yourself. There are plenty of ways if you want to die by suicide by a cop that you could have done with that had nothing to do with shooting up a school. All right. You could have walked right into the police stink and said, freeze, coppers. Okay. You could have done that. You know, you could have walked into a bank and said, give me all your money. And then, you know, or just point the gun at somebody that has a gun and say, I'm going to shoot you, but then have your hand off the trigger. And then you just like, let them shoot you. I mean, if you really wanted to, or you could have just took all those guns that you have and aimed them at yourself and shot your damn self and not have anybody else have to carry that your death on their conscience. But no, why did you want to do this way? Why did you feel the need to take out other people's lives, innocent lives with you? Like, how selfish is that? Like, just because you don't like yourself doesn't mean these 9-year-olds don't like themselves. They haven't even been able to grow up not to like themselves yet. So
they haven't gotten to that point to hate themselves.
Exactly. They're still getting great chocolate milk and cookies from grandma and mom, you know? So like life is good over there. But why was the point? What message are you sending? You know,
I think that's a great point that you're making, and it goes back to when we were talking about MPD, like talking about narcissistic personality.
that's serious. When I explain it that way, it sounds super narcissistic to do that, doesn't it?
Right, exactly. It falls in line. It makes sense. And I find it wild that people are able to think that way. Like what? Like why? I mean, I hate myself every single fucking day. But I don't do anything about it. I don't hurt anybody else, or I don't try to hurt anybody else. I just kind of dwell in whatever I'm doing and try and get better. I don't quite understand. I don't understand this.
Yeah, I don't get it either. And, you know, I'm all for like, you know, I don't think we need to have stricter gun laws. That's stupid because all stricter gun laws do is keep guns out of law-abiding citizens' hands. All right. Because criminals don't obey by the gun laws. They're criminals. You know, they're using.
You can get the guns anyways. It doesn't.
Yeah. Like, and, you know, thanks to the Obama, you know, administration, shit, they sold a whole bunch of them to the cartels anyway. So Operation Fast and the Furious, look it up. You know, so it's just like, it just like doesn't make sense. Like you're not, my gun, this doesn't do anything unless I do something with it. Okay. It is a paperweight unless somebody pulls the trigger. So the problem is not that we need to have tighter gun laws, you know, because the gun didn't do anything. The problem is mental health laws. And, you know, and they want to put more restrictions on for mental health people getting guns. Cool. I'm fine. Crazies don't need guns. Now, there's a lot of crazies that I would trust rather with the gun than some of these so-called not crazy people. But, you know, oh, boy, let me tell you, AJ, I'll tell you in a minute. But, you know, it's like this, right? Transgender really is body dysmorphia or gender dysmorphia, which is a mental health disease or disorder, technically. But since the fluffy, you know, pillow kids that go to that grew up listening to Drag Queen Story Hour.
No, dude, you're just a cis.
Okay, whatever.
You hate.
I don't hate. I'm just telling you what it is. It's like transgender is body dysmorphia. Body dysmorphia was in the, you know, the mental health disorder book, right? And it's a clinical issue. They diagnose it as that. So that means they have a mental health disorder. Well, then transgender people should never be able to buy a gun since they have a DSMI or whatever, DSM. So trans people should not be able to buy a gun because technically they have a mental health disorder. So this woman should have never been able to have a gun because, you know, she identified as a dude and therefore she had mental health disorders. And AJ, I want to get an AR. Okay. You know what? I want to get Paul Benjamin's the Apex rifle. You seen that one from Paul Benjamin? My buddy Paul from Apex Mindset. AJ, check out the Apex rifle. Thing is dope. Can't have those in California, unfortunately.
You can't have anything in California.
You can have transgenders. No, it's not aerosoft, bro.
Dude, he's cracking me up.
It's really, it's legit. I've talked to Paul about it.
Oh, that's nice. It's like that gun's like $5,000.
Yeah, why don't you throw it up on the screen? Or are you looking at it on your phone?
I have multiple computers and stuff. I can't pull it up right here. But yeah, no, it's nice. You got to get a gold Desert Eagle.
I don't need a gold Desert Eagle. My dick is the perfect size. I don't need to make up for my cock size. Okay. Like,
yeah, I will admit I am getting tired of having to spray paint my dick gold every single time I use it because it doesn't come out naturally.
That would be badass, Danny. You know, have we shown the guys, like, anybody the thumbnail for this one yet?
I don't know if we threw it up,
but
I mean it's out there.
I'm gonna pull it up just for everybody to see how awesome we are with our picture work. But you know, what it's, at the end of the day, you know, mental health disorder is a disorder, and people need to call it what it is. It's a mental health disorder. And if we're saying that we don't want people with guns to have or people with mental health disorders to have guns, then we shouldn't let anybody that's transgender have a gun. I mean,
logically it follows. I can see where like people would have issue, but
what do you guys think? What do you guys think of the thumbnail for this episode?
I got thrown into those Transformer titties.
What?
I got thrown into those Transformer titties.
I was gonna throw like John Anthony on the back of the Transformer, like holding on to him, holding on to the titties or something. I don't know.
Oh, that's funny.
But I mean, you know, at the end of the day, like, it's a mental health disorder. People with mental health disorders need to get help. We need to be able to facilitate the help that they need. But here's the thing. We got to call it what it is when we see it. Okay? We can't be playing like this soft, you know, kid friendly. Let's just be nice and just like let's say nice words to people. You know, we gotta call it what it is. It's not, if somebody's identifying as transgender, then that's fine. You can be transgender. We just all know that you have a mental health disorder. And then let's just get them the help that they need. Okay. And, you know, like why don't we have like stricter laws on people that, you know, identify as trans? Like, if people are thinking that they're trans, like, shouldn't they go through a more, you know, deeper insight, like, you know, scope of mental health testing? You know, like, because obviously something is wrong mentally, right? If you are having an issue with your gender or how you're, I mean, like I said in the beginning, those that are born with the dick, that dick is all you know. You know nothing else but a dick. You know, you don't know what it's like to live with a pussy lips down there. So how can you say that you feel like you were born in the wrong body and you should have been born with pussy lips? You don't know what it's like having them. All you know what it's like to do is having your tallywhacker downstairs. You know what I'm saying?
So like, let's define this too. What is dysmorphia? It is a misrepresentation of the size or shape of parts of the body. So if you look in the mirror, so look at me. I'm fucking pale as hell. If I look in the mirror and I see myself as a short black woman, I got a fucking problem. And that's the issue. We need to address that. But instead, we choose that this body dysmorphia is just okay, when we really should be questioning that and helping, as you keep saying, the mental health. That is the most important thing. We need to address the problem at its source, not waiting for something to explode.
Yeah, like, I agree. You know, like, the first step is to call things out for what they are. You know. Yeah, exactly, Danny. Why would you want to get rid of your first gun? Like, I mean,
That's funny.
Don't you guys remember practicing peeing in the toilet with the Cheerios and shit? Like, I mean, why would you want to? I don't understand this. Like it baffles me, and it's just like, and I'm okay if you want to do it to yourself. Hey, go ahead, be my guest. But I definitely think that one, they're not thinking things through all the way because again, they have a higher suicidal ideation. Well, why? Why do they want to kill themselves now? They finally got the body that they said they felt like they wanted this whole time in life. So why still now do they want to kill themselves? Well, because now they're in the body or they have the body that they want. They're not getting anybody that they want to get with. Now they're lonely. The only sort of connection they have are other people that are like them. They're trying to find people that want to like them too. And most people that are trans, from what I understand, are not gay, or no, they are gay. Like if they're a trans woman, they wanted to be a woman, that means they're more likely attracted to men, right? I know one trans couple. He's a male, and he transitioned way later in life, and he's with a female. It cracks me up. It's like he's with a real female, and he's trans. So he got tits and a dick, and he like normal fucks his girlfriend. And I'm like, you're not even gay. You're normal. You just want to dress like you want to look like a woman. I mean, it's not even gay sex. You're doing normal sex, But they're probably in the world of the LGBT, they're probably trans lesbians.
Is this what goes on in California?
Yeah, that's some weird shit. Yeah. Oh, and he played football, like for the girls, like traveling team, whatever. It's like a semi-pro female team.
Different world, man.
Body dysmorphia is when you look at yourself in the mirror and you see imperfections about yourself that aren't actually there. Yes, that is true.
I mean, it can go both ways. It's
bisexual done that way?
No, what I'm saying is you can see it. You see yourself in a way that you are not. So let's say, for example, you're 200 pounds overweight. You look at yourself in the mirror and you think you're a skin rail and super sexy and you're a 10, when really you're like a busted 2. It can go both ways.
You just described like 80% of the women out there in the dating market.
In America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all of them have some type of mental disorder. That's crazy. Who'd have thunk?
Yeah, it's wild. Well, anyways, Glenn, this is a fantastic discussion. I'm really glad that we dove into this. Because this is huge and it's very timely. I wanted to touch on this because we had just done the discussions on transgenderism and some of the effects of that. Now we're seeing something that came out and it was wild that you weren't even aware of it right away. My girlfriend wasn't aware of it right away, and like this was major. They killed half of whatever they killed in Columbine. So 7 people dead versus 13 in Columbine. Wow. And it just, I don't know, it felt a little bit suppressed, and I feel like this needs to be talked about because it relates directly to that mental health problem that we are not addressing as a nation. You're muted right now, by the way.
Keep on talking. I want to share something real quick. Just keep on talking.
Sure. Yeah. So that's why I really wanted to have this discussion today. Initially we're thinking about it as like part 4 as an extension, a bonus of the other stuff that we did with transgenderism, the dark side of transgenderism, because it really does. It stems from that history of mental health disorders. And it's just crazy that we continue to allow this to go on in the way that it does. I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to go this route. However, I don't think it's being done in the right way. And when it's not done in the right way, well, you have issues like we have here, where people kind of burst the bubble and go ahead and kill a lot of other people. And I just think that's absolutely, absolutely awful.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. You know, and you guys, yeah, you're right, AJ. I saw that episode of whatever podcast.
Yeah, that
But you
was
know
fun.
what? She probably listens to this right here and agrees with him. So let me just share this with you guys. Well, here we go.
Even including 2 trannies.
People are like, dude, that means you're gay because you fucked a dude.
People are like, dude, that means you're gay because you fucked a dude.
I am not gay. I have relationships with women and sex with men.
And I got news for you. That means you're gay.
Thing mid 2013. I was doing about 100 to 150 new girls a year, tracking exactly because guys are always like, oh, how's it so high? How's it? Because right now it's at 1,256, and that's like an exact count, even including 2 trannies. So whatever that's worth. People are like, dude, that means you're gay because you fucked a dude. And I'm like, no, it looked like a female 10. So I'm not the least bit attracted to dudes, but attracted to things that look like a hot chick.
Thank you for that important part of the introduction. I feel like that's
Yeah.
Dude, I forgot about that one. It's absolutely so true. You're muted right now, by the way.
Look, there are people out there that have no problem banging them. Okay. Obviously, you know, the guy with 1,600 lay body count.
How many of those are men, though?
So far, we know officially 2. Okay. But we also know that he sexually assaulted at least 2 women, too. So I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's funny, like, Jaron, you're Scott, you're right. Like, you know, it's funny that the modern psychologists will rail on bodybuilders with body dysmorphia, bigorexia, and supplement. Exactly. It's like, it's so hard for a dude that he'll get his testosterone checked and ask, you know, to make sure that his testosterone levels are healthy, let alone try to get an increase in testosterone levels. Right. But if you're a chick and you want to be a dude, oh, they will give you the testosterone. Like, no problem. They give it out like Skittles. But like for somebody that was born with it, that actually may need it because they're in a decrease, you know, their body is decreasing with it, or their body's not producing it as much as it should, they will make you jump through the hoops to get it done. And from what I understand, they just passed this like telehealth bill or whatever to shut down like online teledoctors giving testosterone. They're making it harder in California. So, but they'll do it for, you know, a tranny though, like no problem. It makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. But yeah, I wanted to kind of end with that video because I thought that video was kind of funny. You know, at least we have John Anthony out there that is out there banging trannies, you know, because, you know, somebody has to.
He's doing the Lord's work.
Yeah, he's doing the whore's work.
Well, anyways, Glenn, as we wrap up here, very happy to have this conversation. I think it's timely. It's important. Where can people find you? How can they reach out to you? What type of, you guys
start sending smoke signals? That's a good one. Smoke signals. Get your flashlights and then do Morse code with the flashlight. But you could find me, if that doesn't work, you can find me on my YouTube channel, Glenn Lawrence _presents, or on Instagram, Glenn _Lawrence presents. Yeah, you can hit me up. I'm on Facebook. I'm on all the places. So hit me up if you want. I do take consults. I've been doing some consults lately. So if you are wanting some impact coaching, you want just somebody to bounce some ideas off of and help you get on the right path, go ahead and hit me up. We will troubleshoot whatever issues you got. And if I can't help you, I'll find somebody that will. And if you are gay and you need a good dating coach and you're in Philadelphia, make sure you hit up the HUDSman. Okay. He has just expanded his coaching demographic, and he's going to be the new popular, the matchmaker in Philly for the gays.
I hate you so much. No, but like seriously, so guys, if you're new or anything else, I am a dating coach and I work with everybody. Typically, I end up working with guys that are, 40s and up that tend to be coming out of breakups, divorces, things like that. I've worked with people, I've worked with gay clients, I've worked with everybody across the board, every color of the rainbow, because love is a little bit different. I work more on long-term relationships than just, getting laid, because getting laid is easy, but having a long-term sustainable relationship is hard. So if you want to reach out to me, IG right there at the Hudsman or at Hudsman on YouTube or the Hudsman on, I got a website as well. Easiest is probably just going through IG. If we go through IG, you can go ahead and book a initial consult, which is free, and then we can talk about and kind of separate your goals, figure them out, and then figure out a game plan that works for you. And as always, if you want to go ahead and reach out to me with any type of question, I love this shit. I don't do this for a living, but I have such a passion for it. So if you want to reach out to me, go ahead and do so. I'll make sure to get back to you.
Should we like leave off with your ad?
Yeah, you can go ahead and do it.
I mean, I'm just wondering, like, I think it's a good promo for you business wise.
It's
to help
not,
you make that money.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
I
Is
think
this going to be the outro to every show now?
I mean, it could.
It might as well be.
Technically, it could. Hold on, let me pull it up now. Is this one? Yes, it is.
Are you
All right, here we go.
gay and looking?
Oh, hold on. It's not playing on my end. Hold on.
Keeping the people waiting.
Are you? Gay and looking for love? Are you having a hard time?
Oh, it's not even playing on this one. Hold on. Remove. Present. Share. Entire screen. There we go.
Are you gay and looking for love? Are you having a hard time? Are you wanting to find meaningful connections, not just guys that want to pull their pants down, show you their Johnson, and make you suck their dick while you're trying to read a book? You find yourself striking out at your local gay watering hole? Ugh. Strike one, strike two, strike three, and nobody just seems to be interested in your gay ass? You should contact the Hudsman, the dating coach for the gays, Philly's best. So if you want to end up like these carpet munchers who got married, or these Peter Puffers who got married and living their happily gay after, then you need to reach out to the Hudsman, guaranteed Philly's best gay dating coach just for you.
You were such a jackass.
That video makes me laugh every single time.
I know, dude, me too. I can't help it. I'm just like, God.
It is like the best one I probably have ever done. Like, I haven't done a funnier one since. That shit is priceless.
Well,
It really is.
And anyways, guys, this was enjoyable. Glad we were able to touch on a topic like this. And let us know in the comments below. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Throw something down there if you have any video topics you want us to cover, any questions you have, or if you want to just reach out to us privately, go ahead and do that. Much appreciated. Deuces.